Hi, I'm Patty Tawadros. Welcome to Money Matters TV. My co-host today is Jim DeLorenzo from Jim DeLorenzo Public Relations, and our special guest is really interesting. His name is Phil Williams, and he's from Game Face Grooming. We're going to talk to him a little bit later.
How you doing, Patty?
Good to see you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you.
I don't know what the statute of limitations on is, how long you can say Happy New Year, but I think we're on the edge.
I think it's the first time you see someone after the New Year.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, probably not in March or April.
So how you been?
I've been really good. Busy, incredibly busy. Yeah, but I heard you were at a conference recently.
Yes, I just got back from the American Football Coaches Association annual convention. This year it was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was there with my client, the Andy Talley Bone Marrow Foundation. And one of the reasons we wanted to be there was because Coach Talley, the former football coach at Villanova University, he started this foundation in 2008. He's been active in raising awareness about the bone marrow, need for bone marrow donations since 1992. And he has really found that the college football programs are the prime spot to reach eligible and desirable young men and women between the ages of 18 and 22 who are the core part of the bone marrow program. That's the highly desirable demographic for a donation of bone marrow.
So you can be too old to donate
bone marrow? You age out in like after 45, but the 18 to 22 is probably the sweet spot. Mm-hmm. So there have been, in the last year, over 80 different college football programs have been involved with Coach Talley and raising awareness of bone marrow, the need for bone marrow donations.
So they get kids to donate bone marrow?
They get kids to sign up on the registry.
Oh.
So you have your cheek swabbed, and it only takes about 5 minutes to register and become a potential bone marrow donor. Mm-hmm. And then somewhere down the line, you may get called or you may not get called if you're a match. So that the Be the Match Foundation is the national body that gathers potential donors and matches people up with patients who need bone marrow transplants.
When they call you and tell you you're a match, do they tell you who it's for?
No, they don't tell you who it's for, and you don't meet that person until after a year after the donation, the recipient has received the donation. So there was a famous case a few years ago, a Villanova football player, the starting quarterback on their 2009 national championship team. He was called to donate bone marrow during their college baseball season, and he was a very promising baseball player as well. So he went in and had the procedure done. He donated marrow, and he was drafted by the Chicago Cubs, and he was playing for the Chicago Cubs. Now he's with the San Diego Padres. But before he joined the Cubs, his bone marrow was transplanted into a young girl actually, from South America. And a year later, he got the chance to meet her and his family, and basically what Matt Caesar did was save her life.
That's really great. So why were you at the conference?
The college football demographic is where we want to be at the foundation. So we wanted to gather as many of our participating programs. 80 colleges from around the country participated in 2017. So we wanted to have a reception to honor those people who were involved in the program, and we wanted to attract new programs to the cause and hopefully register a few more programs to say, we want to take part in this. So we met with coaches from around the country. Coach Talley gave a presentation during their General Assembly about the need for bone marrow transplants and donors. And it was a very successful visit for us. But one of the things that came out of that, there was a reporter from a national sports publication who was attending the conference, and he was there to cover controversy. He was there to cover a particular college football coach who was going to speak, and he wanted to gauge the reaction of the people in attendance to this controversial figure. And I reached out to him and said, why don't we look at something that's a more positive story? Here's a college football oriented program that is saving lives. Coach Talley and his foundation have saved over 400 lives in the last 10 years.
That's really great.
They've raised 84,000 potential registrants in the program, and they have 80 schools participating right now. They've raised over $400,000. So these are 4 really good bullet points to counter the one negative story that you're actually here to cover. So I was able to sync him up with the reporter and Coach Talley together to spend a few minutes, and he was great. The reporter was grateful that I had brought a positive story about college football to his attention, and he definitely wants to write about this beyond what he was there to cover on a negative side. And that's what I'm finding is these good stories that go untold, the good stories that are out there of people doing good things for their customers, people doing good things for the community. These stories don't get told as well as the bad stories get told.
Which are on a loop.
It's a continuous loop of bad things. I was talking to another person during the last couple days about what's going on in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has been decimated by the hurricanes last fall, or end of last summer and beginning of the fall. And people have completely forgotten about it. And my point was to my colleague, nobody's telling that story. Nobody's actually going out there every day and saying, hey, Puerto Rico needs help, whether it was a political official or whether it was a community leader or whether it was a celebrity who's from Puerto Rico. They're not really out there every single day hollering out their message that we need help. We're pounding that message home. And think of how much of an impact it would have if somebody was out there daily communicating, hey, we still need help out here. Instead, we're just content to say, oh, somebody dropped the ball. But nobody's taking responsibility for it, and nobody's communicating, okay, there is a good story here. There are people who are helping, but we need more help. And I think if people start working towards that end and start telling their good stories and their authentic stories and their true stories, that there's a great way to break free of the 24/7 beating over the head with political stories and government stories and crime stories that we get too many of.
I agree, and I know your business is all about telling people stories, helping them get it out there.
Yes.
Yeah, and I find that a lot of times people drop the ball. They want to tell this great story, but then they don't have a follow-through.
Right. There's no call to action, or there's no how do we continue that story in other platforms and other dimensions.
Yeah, you need to ask people to donate. You need to ask people to sign up for things. So you're there at this conference and they have this great event, but is there a place for the coaches to go online and sign up?
Yes, we've got a website, we have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter account, we have a Coach Talley in his speech the other day. He hammered home, here's my personal cell phone number. And he said his cell phone number like 3 or 4 times. He says, here's my personal email address. And he says, I'm in booth 1833. Come over and visit me. Give me a call. If you leave here today and you're really interested, he said, come and find me. He said, I'll be happy to. So there was a call to action, and that call to action will continue. After the convention ended yesterday, we'll be out there with email messages to all the registered attendees, going back to the over 6,000 people that were there, saying, hey, we got to meet some of you, we didn't get to meet all of you. Here's how you can have more, learn more about what we're doing, the good work that we're doing. We'll embed a video in the email.
Right.
We'll put the video up on the website. There'll be a call to action for all of them, so that, and we'll continue to touch that resource, touch those 6,000 people for the next month or so, with the goal of getting them involved for their spring football practice, say, where they don't have as much on the line as they would do during the fall college football season. So if we could get their attention in February, March, April, and get them involved in April and May, and then we can be quiet for a little bit and then come back to them at the end of the summer and say, here's the successes we've had since we last saw you in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Great, great. So I have a question for you from the audience. Martin Liu in Philadelphia asks, how should I spread my advertising budget between all the different social media platforms? He'd originally said companies. I switched it to platforms.
Yes. Well, that's an interesting question, isn't it? I mean, there are so many different social media platforms. Which the most effective? And I think if you're a business, you want to concentrate on LinkedIn. I think if you're a business-to-business company, if you're a business-to-consumer company, you probably want to concentrate on Instagram, I would think, at this stage of the game, or Facebook. Mm-hmm. What are you seeing out there? Because you deal a lot with the the
Yeah, we manage people's ad budgets on social media. To say they should spend it on LinkedIn is really difficult because it's a very targeted lead. So
Right.
if you are after really a title, a size of a company, it's perfect, but you're going to pay for it, and it can cost anywhere from $7 to $15 and up for a single click for your ad to show on their page and them to engage with it. And that can blow somebody's budget really quickly.
Right.
So those same people also have personal lives, and they're spending their time on Facebook and Instagram. Twitter, not so much, depending on the demographic. You have Snapchat. So I always tell clients you need to focus in on the age of your demographic,
That's a big factor, yes.
how much money you really can spend, what you're willing to spend it on. You know, if you say you have $1,000, you're not going to spend it on LinkedIn. You'll get
Right.
100 leads and at best. So yeah,
The targeting by the age group,
Right.
more than anything.
the age and then
The financial
how
aspect.
much they have. Yeah.
And do you think in a business situation, is there a difference between in your work? Is there a difference between business to consumer and business to business?
There's a difference, but the platforms reach the same people.
Interesting.
So people say where they work or what they're interested in, and that ad finds them because, it tracks them all over the internet, everything they've looked at. It's just difficult to say to a B2B company, we're going to advertise here because that's where, how many people are really sitting around on LinkedIn looking at stuff?
That's true.
I'm not.
Right. I'm not either.
Rarely on there. You're not going to find me that way. But
Interesting.
you'll find me on Instagram or
Okay.
Facebook. Or better yet is to write really good blog articles and focus on SEO.
I
So-
find that to be much more effective. And another meeting that I had earlier today was on the power of video
Yeah.
in developing content and reaching out to an audience, whether it be through YouTube or whether it's something that you embed on your website.
Yeah, the saying is still true. Content is king. So without good content, it doesn't matter how much money you have.
And in what I'm preaching is the authentic content, the true,
Yeah.
tug at your heartstrings kind of content.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, so if you have questions, here's how to send them in.
You can have your questions answered on Money Matters. Please go to our website, money-matterstv.com. On our homepage, click on the banner on the right that says Send Us Your Questions. While you're on our website, you can find information about our hosts and guests, as well as show notes and links about this show and past shows. Money Matters is also available as a podcast on iTunes and Stitcher, so you can listen to Money Matters while you're on the go. That website address, again, is money, MONEY, -matters, MATTERS, TV.com.
Welcome back. I am excited to connect with our guest. This is Phil Williams from Game Face Grooming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So before we get into it, tell us what Game Face Grooming is. Because I saw you in the hallway. I thought maybe you were, had to do with the actual games.
Yeah, no, we are a men's grooming brand. We've recently launched in the last year a line of what we call athletic facial wipes and body wipes for men, particularly male athletes. So we affectionately like to say we're creating beauty for beast so they can stay clean and hydrated.
That's really good. I know so many guys want to buy those wipes. And even as a woman, I go to buy wipes and they all have a weird, funky smell to them. And I don't want to use them.
Yeah, well, the smell is important, but functionality is more important. So for us, we created a formula that's 98.5% natural. The substrate and material that we use is 100% biodegradable and compostable, so we won't leave an environmental footprint. And that's important. But the key thing about our wipes, and you being a female, makeup removal wipes are usually about 7 inches by 6 inches. Ours are 11 by 7, so they're truly a man-sized wipe.
That's true. I mean,
Yeah.
guys have bigger hands.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your inspiration for starting Game Face?
Literally, it happened because of my daughters. I coach basketball for the youth program in our local community, and we were waiting to participate in a basketball tournament, and I literally saw a group of guys coming off the court, acne-prone skin, not smelling particularly well. And a lot of these facilities, you have a lot of AAU tournaments, and so you're playing 2 or 3 games in a day. And traditionally, there's no showers or any bathroom facilities where you can clean or take a shower between games. So it hit me. Maybe if we do a line of wipes for guys, this could work, particularly for athletes. And there was no real brand that was taking the spin focused on athletes. Ran it by my wife, of course, and normally she'll tell me if it's a good or a bad idea. Normally it's bad, but she was like, "Wow, this is revolutionary." So we pitched it to a retailer, a national retailer that I had a relationship for my former business, and he basically said, "Hey, we're interested." 2 weeks later, he called me and said, "We'll take 3 of your products across 5,000 stores." And I was
Wow.
Oh my
like,
God.
"We don't have anything made."
Did you even have a brand yet?
We had a logo.
Yeah, that's the way I work.
Yeah, we had a logo, so that was good enough. But outside of that, we had nothing. So,
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get ramped up?
Took us start to finish with formulations, testing, and stability about 9 months.
Wow, and you're
About 9 months.
you
Yeah.
had a good connection because
Yeah.
they waited around for you, huh?
Yeah, and based on former relationships, those things came to fruition rather quickly.
The
so it was
networking
good.
pays off, right?
Yes, without a doubt.
So how is your distribution now? Where can people
Distribution's
find
great.
you?
We're currently sold at Walmart. We have 2 products there: our cleansing wipe and our deodorizing wipe. Dick's Sporting Goods, GNC, Giant Eagle, our online website, of course, GameFaceGrooming.com, as well as a few other regional retailers, and then we've got a couple of national rollouts that we're going to have in 2018. But we're primarily focused in on building our existing business with our existing retailers, and then our online footprint. And then we are launching a couple extensions of the brand. We have a women's line, and then we have a sneaker cleaning product that we're launching as well.
Is it too early in the segment for you to tell us about, show us the products?
No, not at all. Happy to dive in. I heard a little bit about
fun to
your-
have actual products.
Yeah, this is our standard pack. Again, this is 11 inches by 7, and if I take one of these out, you'll see the size. Size does matter. So, and again, in demonstration, this is an icon that we have on our product. So you cleanse, cool, and you're on your way.
That's fantastic.
So
Love
it's-
it.
And you smell good.
Thank you. I smell better now,
Yeah,
right?
smell better. I don't want to say anything before, but
I smell better. Thank you very much. But that's the real importance. It's really giving guys on the go an opportunity to really cleanse, deodorize, and refresh with serious skincare, but it's in the form of a wipe. So we've taken the real time to put together natural formulations that make sense for guys. And the lifestyle for guys now is, as you know, I heard you earlier in the segment talking about being in Charlotte on an airplane.
Right.
Those are ways that we can get to a targeted older demographic, but the youth demographic,
Older.
more
Sure.
I'm okay
mature.
with that.
Right,
I'm all
more
right with that.
mature, more mature. But with the youth demographic, it's mom that's shuttling kids in between soccer practice or basketball, then going to CCD class, so on and so forth. So
oh, and teenage boys stink. I'm sure the moms would be like, here.
yes,
clean up.
yes. So you do need a hint of fragrance, which ours are natural. So those are important. But we have our own proprietary formulas and fragrances that we own and can't be duplicated. So that was important, for the long-term sustainability of the brand.
So I looked at your website and I saw
Yeah.
you have all different smells. Are they different purposes?
Well, we have 5 different products. So we have cooling, cleansing, deodorizing, antibacterial, and acne. So all the 4 products other than acne have fragrance. And again, most fragrances are not natural like ours. So they are an irritant. So for our acne wipe, we didn't include a fragrance, regardless if it's natural or not. But each one of the products has its own functionality. So cleansing is for a guy that's on the go. Cooling is usually used in a workout regimen. Deodorizing, post-workout, hiking, camping, fishing. I keep a set by the grill in the summertime. They're good for our antibacterial for your hands, to cool off. So, we're telling guys on the back of our packages that there are other uses as well.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's more important. You're on the golf course, riding motorcycle. You throw some in the saddlebag and you're on the move. So there's multiple usage, but most importantly, from an educational perspective, guys don't realize when the most important time is to clean their skin, and it's actually before you go work out or compete, because it opens the clogs and pores and gets away all the dirt and grime. Instead of using a towel and spreading it around, it leads to acne.
I didn't know that.
Very interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you had mentioned starting the company.
Mm-hmm.
You had the idea.
Yep.
How do you take that from idea to product, and how long did it take you? You mentioned the 9 months,
Mm-hmm.
but what were the first steps that you took to start the business?
First thing we did after, we talked to a couple of men and young men. We did an online survey of about 1,000 guys, and basically we put together a 100 questionnaire. And we were talking to guys about their regimen, what they're using in their hair, on their skin, how often they're using wipes. And we found out that a lot of guys are kidnapping their wives or significant others' wipes or baby wipes to use on the golf course. So, we had one instance where a gentleman was telling us if he's going to golf with his 2 sons, he would go to the store the night before, buy a box of baby wipes, put in astringent, shake it up,
Really?
and that's what went in the back of the golf cart.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's what they'd use to cleanse
Right.
and cool off throughout the day and after golf as well. So we knew that there was some validation there, proof of concept, and then after we got the surveys back, culled through the data. At the same time, we had the whiteboard going in the office trying to figure out what the best brand name was. And then when we got into the focus groups, guys were saying it's got to come from really a sports connotation, yet a position of strength, and hence the name Game Face was
Right.
born. It just kept rising up the leaderboard, and we went with it. Our first rendition of the logo was more of the evolution of man, kind of,
Okay.
from ape to man, like very raw and edgy, more Incredible Hulk. But then we worked with an illustrator to really tighten it up and put the logo together, and it's been rocking and rolling ever since.
So when did you first introduce it to the market?
January of last year was
Okay.
when we first shipped it into Walmart.
So it's your
Roughly
1 year
3,000
anniversary.
stores. Yeah, yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Congratulations.
So it was 9 months from idea to launch, and then
Yes.
it's been 1 year since.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes, not a lot of sleep. So we incorporated in 2015.
How does that work in family life? I know as an entrepreneur what it's like for me, but what's it like for you?
It's good. I mean, I don't sleep a whole lot. I probably sleep about 4 hours a night. But the good thing is, we have a lot of flexibility there in the office, and particularly with, for me, I'm up early in the office. I can run the girls to school. Now my oldest daughter's driving, so I start her car in the morning to warm it up.
Oh, that's sweet.
But they are no longer commuting and driving to school. But a lot of flexibility. But at the same time, hey, you're working nights, you're working weekends, and if you're committed to the brand, and our team they're committed along with me to build it, along with my family. That's the most satisfying and rewarding.
How big is your team?
We have 3 full-time, including myself, and then we've got 4 interns that'll be starting for us doing PR, social media, product development, logistics, and most of the folks that we've been able to recruit have been interns for us previously. So they understand the culture, understand the brand, and we look to bring them on board for a full time. And the 4 people that we have starting in January, there are 3 of which are seniors, and the hope is to bring them on full time after they graduate.
That's awesome.
Now, I've known Patty for a little bit, and I know other entrepreneurs and other business owners.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first hire? Who was your first hire? Or like, what function did they fill?
Amy Masana, first hire, work wife, is really the acronym that we use, but she's just invaluable in terms of ability to handle anything between logistics to finance to, and she's got a great background in IT technology with Ann Taylor and retail. So
Okay.
it was very good. And then we brought on another gentleman, Jeff Chapcott, who is our creative director. So unreal talent, helps us, really visualize the brand. And, he's taken everything now with our logo and extended it across every platform. We've done events from, we did a Barber Expo recently to create our own content. And
Sure.
I heard you speaking about that earlier. We really want to be able to own our own space, control our own destiny in and around the brand, but in an authentic way. And one other extension that we have, and we talk about it on the back of our packaging, is our Common Ground initiative. So ultimately, the impact that we want to leave with the brand is go into communities, urban and suburban, to refurbish basketball courts, get kids out and active in the community again. And at the same time, we can paint, and refurbish the court, leave our Game Face logo in the jump ball circle, and also tag in our retail partners as well. But more importantly, sponsor youth leagues. And my real wish is to have cops as coaches, where cops
That's
in
great.
these communities can have a relationship with a young man or girl that is 8 years old. And throughout my upbringing, there was a park that was really important for us in our community, and we had a relationship with the police officers in our community in a positive way.
Right.
So I thought, what better way to give back? And we're doing other social programs and partnering with other organizations from Special Olympics, so on and so forth, where it makes sense for our brand.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The community
Before
involvement.
we run out of time, we don't have that much left.
Yeah.
What's in this package?
Exciting. So
Show us more stuff.
Patty, you're ahead of us. So one of the things that we're looking to do is obviously continue the extension of the brand, but owning everything wipes, right? So we came across this technology through a friend, and basically, if you can see the juice on the outside of this little pod, as we call it, and on the inside is actually our wipe, okay? So what we're doing now is we're taking this technology and we are going to use that as a sneaker cleaning wipe. So we have it in pods. We're going to be selling it in pods of 5, 12, and 24. And basically, it's an on-the-go sneaker cleaning product. We'll also use the technology for our facial wipes as well, but pretty cool delivery system. So can I ask one of you to test it? All right, so Jim, I'd use your thumb, press down real hard and hold for 1 second. Let it go. You're good?
Oh, look at that.
So people clean their sneakers? Is that?
Oh, it's a whole
It's a
movement.
whole thing.
It's a whole movement. Yeah. So
And here
Jim,
you go.
take that out, unroll it. We affectionately like to say it looks like a little piece of sushi, but don't eat it.
I thought it was biodegradable. Is that a face wipe or is that a sneaker
That
wipe?
one's the sneaker. So, and it's also good on leather, suede, mesh. So
That's perfect.
Jim, literally, like
wipe
again,
my shoes.
You could go for it. You go for it. Like when you're on the road.
Yeah.
Of course.
Wipe my
Yeah.
shoe. Wipe my shoe.
So
There you go.
It's not going to fade.
Oh
Get
my
all the
God.
salt off it and everything.
Wow. I didn't know I was getting a shoe cleaning here.
And you want to give me the other one while you're at it? That's what service we do on the
That is
show.
awesome.
All right. We're all
Thank
amongst friends
you.
here.
That's it.
Wow, they
We're-
look
We're doing
great.
nails outside.
Outside. What about right here?
But no,
That's
it's,
a great idea.
Yeah, so it's just a clever way for us to extend the brand. We'll use this for events, for sampling purposes, so on and so forth. But
Great to have in your pocket if
Yeah.
you're putting your face wipes in there.
yeah, and we keep them, like I keep a couple in my glove box. So if you're pumping gas and you get gas in your hands, boom, you just clean, pod right in
Yeah.
the garbage.
That's a great idea.
You're on the go. So we're excited about it. But I sincerely appreciate you
Okay.
allowing me the opportunity to tell you
So-
about the
Well, it's
brand.
wonderful to meet you.
Yeah,
Thank
great
you.
to meet you. We're going to wrap up, but tell me it's
Grooming. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, so our guest next week is Jean Linkmeyer from Linkmeyer Law, and we hope you'll join us again. Thanks for joining us today.